Hi,
Hi.
Jordy. All right,
Hi.
I'm going to mute everybody except for Lara and Molly. So if you're wondering why we can't hear you, that's because you're muted. And I believe that's everybody's muted. So Lara and Molly, take it away.
Joking.
And this is being recorded, so go ahead.
All
Perfect.
right. Well, we wanted to tell you a little bit about our experience being success partners and kind of what that is, how we came about becoming success partners and sort of what we do, and maybe give you some ideas of how you could find a success partner and maybe what to look for. So, Molly, why don't you start by saying kind of how we ever connected with one another?
So it's kind of a crazy story. So Lara and I became friends, obviously, first via Facebook and the virtual gym, and just started talking that way. We had become coaches. I think you had become a coach a couple months before I did, didn't you?
I became a coach like in June. It'll be 2 years this June. So June
Yeah.
of
And so
2014.
I had one at the end of November. We actually didn't first meet in person until Coach Summit last year. So that was our first ever encounter with each other. And we just clicked. We just clicked right away. Like, it was like we had been friends for years. It was an awesome connection. And after that, we started talking and communicating quite frequently about our own goals and how to reach out to new people and all those types of things. I wasn't supposed to say that. And yeah, I don't know.
And so I don't even know that we really called ourselves success partners. I mean, we didn't put some label on it. I think we just kind of gravitated toward one another as we liked each other. We kind of liked what each other was posting, and we really kind of connected. And so we would just bounce ideas off one another. And then I don't know where someplace we saw the title success partners, or maybe Eric posted something, and we were both messaged each other that same day, and hey, that's us, we're already doing that. So it was just kind of cool. We didn't really call it that necessarily in the beginning, but that's kind of, I guess, yeah, how we got started. And I guess some of the things that we thought we would talk about is kind of the role of the success partner, and at least how we do it. Obviously, people can do things differently than we do, but some of the roles I think that a success partner can play, lots of different roles, but just some things I kind of wrote down was somebody who will help you be a goal setter and help push you to reach those goals. Brainstorming partner, so if you're trying to figure out how to generate new business, or I don't know, for just about anything in your business, somebody just to kind of bounce ideas off of and brainstorm. I think Molly and I view each other as good friends, so it goes beyond just our business. Like, we'll just message each other about other things in our lives. I think we're cheerleaders for each other. Like, we're always cheering each other on to reach that next goal, or to hit Success Club each month, and we're checking in with each other. But I think we're also willing to be brutally honest with one another too. So if Molly asks me a question about her business, like, should I do this, or do you think this makes sense, and I don't agree, or I see it differently, like, I'm not afraid to tell her. I think we trust each other. So I think those are kind of the things that we've used each other for. Really, somebody that just is there for us to kind of help us bounce ideas off of, come up with ideas. I mean, we talk about pretty much every aspect of our business. We might talk about personal development books. We might talk about Facebook posts, or where to go about meeting new people who might be potential customers or coaches, or how to convert a customer into a coach. So I don't know, Molly, if you want to add to kind of the role that we've played for each other.
I guess our biggest one, I think, was pushing each other to diamond. We were both at the exact same point when we met each other. We were both emeralds. We both had the same amount of coaches on each leg, and we just fell into place. And it was like, hey, I just signed a coach. Where are you? Oh, I just signed a coach, and I'm talking to this person. And we really helped to build each other up and to keep pushing, because there would be days where I know I would text Lara and be like, how many Success Club points do you have? And it's like 2 days before the month ends, and she'd say, I have 2. And she's like, I don't know if I'm going to get it. And I'm like, no, you're going to get it. And she would get it. Success Club 5, no matter what. And you've hit that every month. You're an all-star. That happened during this whole shebang, which is awesome.
And I think what Molly's saying is really true. I think without Molly there checking in with me pretty much daily, I mean, we've only met in person twice. 2 times we've met in person, but we have communicated by Facebook Messenger or text pretty much every day, at least since Coach Summit, just checking in. And honestly, there's a lot of months where if it weren't for Molly checking in with me, where I just kind of resigned myself to the fact, like, okay, I'm done. I'm kind of tired. I don't really feel like pushing myself any further this month. I'm super busy at work, whatever. I have too many obligations. I'm just not going to push. And then Molly would check in and say, hey, where are you at? You can do it. Go get more Success Club points, or just go get out there and keep pushing. And then I would, because, she always motivated me to just kind of, okay, get it off my butt and go do something. And I think we're just having that person that's checking in with you and holding you accountable, but also just cheering you on, saying you can do it.
Right. And they're not a person who just lets you back down. You can't be like, well, I'm just not going to do it this month. And that person's just like, oh, that's fine. You don't need to do it this month, because that's not what they're there for. They're there to make you a better person, to make your business stronger. And another thing that Lara and I have always talked about is we're not in the same downline. So Lara going up in rank, or we don't help each other anywhere. So it makes us even stronger, because I just lost my train of thought.
Well, yeah, your business and my business aren't dependent upon each other directly, but and we talked about that. We think that's actually good, because we're not really in competition with one another, or she's not pushing me just so that it benefits her. I'm not pushing her just so that it benefits me personally in my business. We're pushing each other because we both want each other to succeed and have successful businesses. So I think that's been really good and really helpful, that I don't feel like Molly's like, oh, Lara, you better get Success Club because it's going to help me, or you better get another coach because it's going to help me.
Yeah.
So it's nice that we're really in it for ourselves and for each other, to really support each other and build each other up as much as possible.
And it's something that we both love doing. We both love helping people. We love the business. And we also both work full time doing, you're an attorney, right? Yeah. I work in a job. I was like frazzled for a second.
Who are you? Wait, who am I?
What's your real job?
We really do know each other. At least a little.
See, I knew it. Everyone.
One thing that we talked about too was that I think it's really cool. I'm a lot older than Molly. Let's just put it that way. A lot. I'm closer in age to her mother than I am to her. So, but I think that's cool that we're kind of at different stages in our lives. And I think I learned a lot from Molly. She's got a lot of energy. She's in her 20s. She's go, go, go. She's got tons of motivation to try, to be able to quit one of her many jobs. But you see Molly, and she's always got energy. She's always positive. She's always just trying to keep going. And I don't always have that same level of energy, and I have different things going on in my life. She's got other things going on in her life, but it's nice that we're able to connect. And I think we just learn from each other and just kind of get a different perspective. Molly can teach me things. I like to think that I can kind of teach her some things too. And, we will text each other photos and say, hey, I want to post this on my personal Facebook page. Do you think this looks good, or does this make sense? Should I post this picture or that picture? We'll help each other out, and we'll be honest. So I think that's really been helpful. And I like the fact that, like I said, we're different stages in our lives. I've got a 10-year-old daughter, I've got a husband, but we're both really busy, so we can both understand and relate to one another in that regard. But I think there are other things that we've done, some other things that I think can be helpful too. I've had Molly in some of my challenge groups. I've had a couple of challenge groups where I've had felt like they were just kind of slow. People weren't as engaged. And I know I threw Molly in there and said, Molly, can I throw you in my challenge group? Because I knew she'd be out there liking everybody's posts and she'd be out there cheering everybody on. It was kind of a way to bring some new energy into one of my challenge groups. So that's kind of been fun too. And we haven't done as much. I mean, there's a lot more we could be doing, and maybe we will start doing. I think we could talk with each other more about developing training tools and developing, I don't know, just organizational tools for our business. I think Molly is probably more organized than I am. She's got everything in her nice binder, and I finally got a binder and put my stuff in it. I'm a little more kind of fly by the seat of my pants. I mean, I'm not suggesting I don't have any organization, but I think there are things we can learn just about our approaches to our business and how to keep track of things and how to develop some tools. But
yeah, I would
go
go even further. Besides just business, we also push each other in like our personal goals. Lara and I both do 21-day fixed eating, and I know like there was like 2 weeks ago I texted her and I was like, oh my God, this has been awful. Like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. I've fallen off. And she's like, that was me. Like, get back on, you know, like you can do it. And we just push each other those ways too. There's so many different ways to push your Success Club partner.
That's true. I mean, that's an excellent point, because how many times have we messaged and it'd be like 10 o'clock at night and I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't done my hammer and chisel workout yet.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, great, go get it done.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's
No
just kind of one more person that's watching you and holding you accountable, and you want to succeed because, you know, I don't want to let Molly down.
And I don't want to let you down. And two heads are always better than one. I mean, you know, I might sit here thinking that I'm doing these things all the right way and it's my way or the highway, when that's not true. So you always have that person to go to and ask questions, which is amazing. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah. I mean, somebody might ask, like, why should I have a success partner? I mean, we've talked about our own experience and kind of what we get out of it, but people might question, you know, why do I need one, or why should I get one? And I don't know. I think, why not? I mean, it's one more person to have in your corner who's pushing you, and it just makes your life and your journey so much more fun. And I think it's made me more successful. I think Molly would say the same, that we've pushed ourselves harder because of each other, and we've had a lot more fun along the way. I mean, we just crack ourselves up at some of the things we say and do, but it just, you've got somebody who's really looking out for you and will push you. So that's why, I don't know, I was kind of trying to think of helpful tips for how to find a success partner that might be a good fit for you. Obviously, it's a personal choice, and you have to find somebody that is going to work for you. But some of the things that I kind of thought about that might be helpful, I mean, just ask somebody. I mean, think about what you're looking for. I think you want somebody that you know you're going to have, that's going to be a good fit. So I think you kind of have to look at it. There's probably two different views on this. Somebody who thinks a lot like you might be good, but I also think it's good just have somebody who's maybe got different strengths than you do, so that if there's one area you're not as strong in, if you find a success partner who's really strong in those areas, maybe the two of you can work together and help each other out. I think you want it to be somebody that you trust completely, because you're going to be sharing some, you know, kind of your deepest, darkest secrets, your frustrations, your successes,
your ups,
your downs. Yeah. I mean, Molly knows when I've been frustrated about things, and you want somebody that you trust, and trust is going to be honest with you too. If you know, if I'm doing something, I would hope Molly would say, hey, that, you know, you posted that thing on Facebook. I don't know if that's really your best approach. And we bounced ideas like that off of each other too. Mm-hmm. But Molly said this at the beginning too. I think when I look at it, I think you want somebody who's on your same path, and maybe kind of on your same, maybe has some of your same goals. Like Molly said, we were both started at Emerald and had the goal to get to Diamond. So we were both pushing at the same level and putting in the same amount of energy to try and get to that same goal. I think a success partner maybe wouldn't be as helpful if it's, you've got one person who wants to be a 10-star diamond and you've got one person who only ever cares about maybe getting to emerald. I don't know if that you'd be the best success partner, because I think you want somebody who's going to help push you to the level that you want to get to.
Yeah, for sure.
What else? I think we kind of talked about a bunch of that, but somebody who will hold you accountable to the goals that you set. I mean, if we talk about things with each other, we're going to check in with each other and say, okay, did you do what you said you were going to do? Or where are you at this week? So, I mean, a lot of people have done some of the Team Cup challenges, and some of us are doing those now. And look how successful a lot of us have been when we've been on a Team Cup. I think a success partner is sort of like taking that Team Cup experience and is carrying it the whole year through. And you've got that one other person that's really helping you push and reach your goals instead of just focusing in those, months where there's Team Cup challenges. You want to try and build some momentum and keep going the whole rest of the year.
Yeah. And we got lucky. I mean, we found each other and just connected and just had that love for Beachbody and the business and wanting to grow and to help each other. But I heard someone else say, you could pick a success club partner and it might not work out, or you could date them and just see, is this someone that I could potentially see being my success club partner? They don't have to stay your partner if it's not working out. It's not, maybe me and Lara didn't work out. We don't have to stay successful partners if it's not working. So you have to think about things like that too.
And quite honestly, I mean, I'm not cheating on Molly. I don't have another success club partner, or a success partner, but I think you could have more than one success partner too. I don't think it's like we're limited to each other. But I'm not cheating on Molly. I don't have another success partner. But I think, if I felt like, I really could use somebody who's really knowledgeable on Instagram or Facebook, and I'm not saying Molly isn't those things, but let's say if Molly and I talked about it, we both kind of said, we're not real strong in this one area, or if she had something in particular she wanted to work on that I really couldn't help her with, I would totally encourage her to go find somebody else, to help to focus on those areas too. There's not really any harm in having another person who maybe will also help push you in different ways or bring something else to the table. Because, I mean, I'm sure there are things that I can't provide to Molly. I mean, like I said, I'm not the most technologically savvy person. I mean, I'm sort of learning on the fly with Instagram and some of these other things. She's young, she's hip, maybe she can teach me a thing or two.
Yeah. Some things maybe. Does anyone have any questions for us? No.
I do.
I knew.
Yes.
So I think and I wanted to kind of get maybe some examples from you guys. The success partner thing, to me, one of the most important things is the 100% honesty, no filter, tell you if your post is stupid kind of person that you can trust. You're like, hey, you're coming on a little strong, or do you know that you've got all these errors, or your grammar's really bad, that kind of stuff. Do you guys have any instances of helping each other that way, where maybe, you maybe wouldn't have been comfortable saying that to someone else, but because you've built this partnership, that's helped you guys? Do you have any examples of where, Lara, you told Molly, hey, did you know you did this, or did you know you did that, or vice versa? Do you guys have any instances of kind of that 100% honesty coming through?
I don't think we've had any like that. We're out in the open where she or I have posted something and said that's not right. But we've had very honest conversations to each other where it was someone just needed to say something because someone else, oh no, something just happened to my computer, and someone else didn't do something, and it didn't sit right with one of us, and you just needed to know that person was going to be there for you and stand up for you and stick up for you.
Well, and I think I can't think of a specific example where I've posted something and Molly has said, hey, what was that crazy thing you posted? Maybe you should fix that or take that down. I've had other friends say that, like, Lara, you posted this and there was a typo in it. And I appreciate that because I will go back and edit it. And a lot of my posts I'm doing on my phone, so I'm doing them quick and I put them out there, and sometimes there are mistakes in them, and I would hope somebody would point them out, and I trust that Molly would. So I think we have that comfort level. But like, she's posted pictures and said, hey, I want to update my cover photo on my Facebook page. You know, which of these pictures do you think I should use? Does one of these show my success a little bit better than others or whatever? And I sent her 2 pictures to say, I was 9 days into hammer and chisel, and I took some pictures, and I was like, I think I'm seeing progress, but can you see this, or is it just me? Like, is this worth posting, or is this not really noticeable to somebody else? So those kinds of things, like, is this a worthwhile thing to post? We've talked about ahead of time, and I trust her. I mean, if she says, yeah, you look exactly the same,
and that's brutal honesty. That's what you're not going to get, from a lot of people. A lot of people, oh, you look great, post it. And if you have that person that's a partner in your business that'll say, I can't really tell, and that you're both comfortable getting, you have to want that sort of honesty.
Right.
I think that's one reason you two work really well. That, and the fact that you are from different generations, if I can use generations, Molly, how old's your sister? Did we lose Molly? She's like stone faced. Oh, she's frozen. I think because you said like you have a 10-year-old daughter. I think Molly has like a 10 or 12-year-old sister is what I said to Sarah.
Molly's frozen. Yeah, and her mother is 2 years older than I am.
But I feel like you guys, Lara, you having Molly as, like you said, that younger hip person. Molly, like her photos and the apps that she knows how to use with photos and stuff is probably, I would think, a pretty big benefit for you.
Yeah, and I think, we've talked even when we've had issues with customers who frustrated us on like how to respond. And so, like, what's an appropriate response when you have somebody who's super, super, super needy and you feel like they're just sucking up all of your time, and I'm probably too nice. Like, I let people just like suck the life out of me because I'm not always good at saying no or saying, okay, I will help you when you're ready to actually commit to the program. I had one customer who's a neighbor of mine who honestly, she wanted to be in every time I posted about running another 21-day fixed challenge group, every single time she'll say, I'm in. I'm pretty sure she's never taken the shrink wrap off of her 21-day fix program because I went to her house 6 months after she had bought it from me, and she had never looked through the eating plan, but she was just sucking the life out of me. It's like she just thought by osmosis or just by being in my challenge group, somehow the program was going to work for her. And I know I talked with Molly about that, where I didn't know how to respond, and I didn't really know how to deal with this person in an appropriate way. So I think just having somebody who, like you said, Eric, you can be brutally honest with and who you trust 100%. And we're not always going to agree. It's not that you and your success partner have to agree on everything, but we can have a good, healthy discussion about what's a good approach to take and maybe how to fix a problem or whatever the issue is. We can talk through it. Hi, Molly, you're back.
Hi, my internet just stopped working. So
you're frozen on the screen for a little while. Did you hear any of that?
What?
Did you hear any of what we were saying? Or
nope.
Did you totally? Oh.
I totally don't have internet right now, so.
Oh, you're on your data?
Yep.
Uh-oh. Good times.
That's all good.
Well, like Lara, I would think too, like what you can bring to the table for Molly, and your attorney, your professionalism of how to compose an email and how to sound professional. And I know that we've been emailing with corporate about your rank issues, and that email you sent me, I'm like, wow, that is a pretty detailed email. So I just really think you guys, the having the same goals, liking each other, and your personalities mesh, but then being different enough. And, you know, like you guys touched on it before, you know, I really think in a lot of ways, Lara's strengths are maybe Molly's, you know, not necessarily weaknesses, but you guys play off each other so well.
Yeah.
I quite honestly think that's why you both hit diamond in the same week, is because you guys, you know, you're good at one thing that Molly's not as strong at, and that can really work well, you know, to find a success partner that is exactly like you.
Yeah.
I don't think is probably the best way to go. You know, you want to find someone who's going to push you and see things from a different perspective, because if they see things the way you do, you know, that's not going to do you a whole lot of good. So I think that's why you guys really work really well. I'm really impressed with the way you guys work together.
Yeah, and it did just kind of fall together for us, sort of unplanned, where we just, you know, we had been following each other's posts. Like, we'd follow a lot of people in the gym. I mean, like I said, I hadn't met any of you guys until Summit last year, but I felt like we had been friends for years when I arrived in Nashville, and I had never met any of you in person. It was really, you know, I just was thinking, like, this is so weird how I'm, you know, spending all this time with people I've never met in person. But it was amazing, and it was so great because of the connection we had all developed over time, just in the gym and through the coaching business. And Molly and I were among those who, you know, we just kind of connected and kind of liked the vibe that each other had out there. And then when we met in person, and just we ended up going to the same track of training, so we were sitting in on a lot of the same training at Summit, kind of taking the same notes and chatting about some of the things we were taking in at Summit. I think that just kind of sealed it for us, because we had an opportunity to talk there too about sort of our goals, and that momentum of Summit really just kind of pushed us. You know, of course we're all there and we're like, yes, we're going to do this, but we really talked about, okay, we went to Summit, what are we going to do to actually make something happen? We're not just, you know, and Eric, you talked about this too, for all of us who are at Summit, like, don't just go and then go back to your house and not take anything you actually learned from Summit. Take some of what you learned and actually put it into practice. And I think Molly and I talked about some of the trainings that we went to there and what we liked and how we wanted to actually implement some of the things that we learned.
Well, and you guys both have, I feel like, the real similar levels of effort and engagement. You know, when we have these team Zoom calls, you two are basically, you know, maybe a call here or there, one of you have had to miss. You guys are always on the trainings, on the team Zoom calls. You're both putting the effort in. You know, if you had a success partner that you're getting on the team call and they're not, and you're doing training and they're not, you know, some resentment could build. It just, that wouldn't work. You guys are both putting forth the effort together, you know, so it's kind of that even, you're both pushing towards the same thing in an even way. And that's a really important thing to find with somebody when you're looking for someone to try and reach your goals with. You know, you don't want to find that if you're going to be a super hardworking person and you really want to hit it and you're going to work as hard as you can, you don't want to find that person that's a smoke blower that just says, hey, yep, I'm going to hit this goal, and they throw goals out left and right and they never finish what they start. You two started, and you're not finished, but you're knocking your goals off left and right. So,
well, and I will say, you know, Molly knows this. Towards the end of the calendar year last year, I was like, I'm exhausted. I feel like I poured everything, my heart and soul, my whole life into my coaching business, kind of to the detriment at times to my family. And I was having a bit of a rough time at the end of the calendar year. Molly knows this, where I was like, I cannot sustain this. Like, I think my spouse is gonna, you know, my child have just had enough of me always being like, okay, I gotta go do some Beachbody stuff, where I felt like I wanted to start this year finding a better balance. And so I talked about that with Molly too, that I was like, you know, this business is important to me, and it's, you know, been successful, and I enjoy it and I want to continue it, but I don't want to at the expense of, you know, the goal of me doing this business is hopefully to provide, you know, a little extra income. And I'm doing it for myself because I really enjoy it and I enjoy helping people. But, you know, trying to explain to my family that part of why I'm on my phone or on my laptop instead of engaging in conversation with them or playing a game with them or doing whatever, sometimes it's not always easy to explain like why I'm down here right now instead of, explaining to my 10-year-old why I'm not able to help her. But, I got through it, and I think had some good conversations to try and explain. And as time went on and as time goes on, I think that gets easier. But having, Molly was super supportive of that. And she even said, if you need to take a step back, you need to take a step back. You need to figure out what your priorities are, and you need to, you need to do what works for you. I mean, she wasn't like, you have to go hardcore every single minute of every day. I mean, when I said, I was just sort of like, I'm exhausted. I just cannot do it. But then the next, after a couple of days, I was like, okay, I'm back. I'm ready to go again.
Well, and I think that's where
charge.
I think that's where it helps, like, our different stages of life too. Like you have like the family and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not quite at that point. So I think for me to push you and like, no, you can do it. Like, I know you can. That's where me helping you kind of comes in, and like vice versa.
Right.
And just to let everyone know, we all have those times, right, honey? I have those days. she listens to me when I'm having those days. I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted. So
yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions for you guys, or do you guys have any other things that you wanted to share? Jordy,
Lara,
anything to add? Any questions or anything? Oh, we can't hear her. We can never hear Jordy. Corey, you haven't gotten busted by the. Oh yeah, so lady in the pink sweater. You haven't gotten in trouble.
So quiet.
You guys have any closing remarks? Anything to just kind of wrap it up?
Get
Lara,
a success partner, and
yes.
Molly rocks.
Lara is my Beachbody soulmate.
We're soulmates. We're going to put together like a little dating website on how to find your success partner.
I wish there really was a Beachbody dating website, first of all.
There is a Facebook group, Success Partner Seekers. You can go.
Molly wants an actual dating site, I think is what she's saying.
Well, yeah, she wants a real dating site. I don't want dating.
Molly, that's what we're all for. You have like all sorts of uncles and aunts and big brothers who are just going to scrutinize the heck out of anyone who you do decide to date. So
I know.
Just saying, and it starts right here and there. Well, I appreciate everybody you got on. Next week, we got this, and you guys, that's if you have coaches who are not on this call, one, message them after this call and stress the importance of getting on these calls, because I'm sure we all learned a lot. It's a good way to engage with each other. It's a good way to learn what each other's doing. These calls are like having, there's 9 people on here right now. It's like having 8 Success Club partners, because you're going to learn something you may not have thought of, but you're not going to learn that. You're not going to get to ask questions if you're not on these calls. And sometimes it might require some sacrifice. Sarah and I had to eat real fast right after I got done with class so we could have time to get on this. It's not always going to be the best thing for your schedule, but if you have a desire to grow your business, getting on these calls is important. And we got to hear from Molly and Lara tonight. Next week, Sarah is an executive communication trainer. Sarah trains big mucky mucks in the corporate world how to talk and speak and communicate better. And I guarantee that there are times when we're talking to people about challenge packs, about what we do as coaches, where we probably lose them because of the way we communicate. And we might throw up Beachbody on them, or we might, stammer over our words and not come across as confident. And that's where Sarah can really help. When I do my little YouTube videos, I had her start critiquing my videos, and it's helped me a lot. Do you have anything that you'd like to add about next week, or anything you want to share? Yeah.
I hate to speak. I do want to add one piece about why next week is going to be so important. Before I do that, I want to commend Molly and Laura for stepping up tonight and sharing what works for them. The key to growing this business that I have absolutely witnessed watching Eric is stepping up. doing things that are a little bit uncomfortable, all in the interest of sharing, helping people grow, and giving them tools, whether they impact your business or don't. When you're willing to do that, some people call it, by Corey, putting it themselves out there. Call it what you must, but that's one of the behaviors that makes all the difference. It takes a little bit of courage, and it takes a little bit of tenacity, like, ooh, am I really going to sit down and figure out what to say to a group of people? When you do that and when you show up, it teaches you how much impact you can have. And those are the behaviors that lead to bigger businesses. I see it over and over again. One piece of just clarification, Eric was talking a little bit about what I do for a living. Next week isn't going to be specifically around communication skills. I have some content-related agreement things that I can't share because I represent content for another firm. So there's certain places I can't go when it's not an agreement and something that's being done for the company I work for. What I am preparing for next week is all around building credibility as a leader. Some of that is through your communication. There are other specific behaviors that leaders do that directly build credibility. There are also specific behaviors that leaders do that immediately diminish their credibility. The things that you'll learn next week are incredibly tactical. And what I love about what I'm going to share with you, it's actionable content. You can hang up from that call, pick up the phone, or send an email to a Beachbody related client, customer, one of your coaches, and immediately import and put the skills into play. That's why I want your coaches on the call too. So if someone is brand new, if you are just learning the ropes in this whole coaching thing, these are behaviors that will eventually become habit, and they'll completely change how you show up and earn credibility. So please bring people on the call. The more, the merrier. Brand new, curious about coaching, is that right? Curious about coaching? Curious about coaching, whomever. Really tactical skills that you can put into play first thing the next business day.
All righty.
Nice work, Molly and Lara. Good job tonight.
Good job. Way to go.
Thank you.
Well, everybody have a great night, and we'll be seeing you on social media and some of you in person on Saturday, and Molly on Friday afternoon. See you later, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.